Okay. If it starts to break up, please let me know. Uh, because this stuff which we are going to go through tonight is very, very important. It's valuable. I want to make sure that you guys really get what I'm trying to put across. So at any time, if you don't hear me clearly, just let me know. We'll either end the call or just revisit everything. Basically, what I want to go through with you in this module, in this webinar, it's the number one reason people buy, and also the number one reason people do not buy. People buy because you have created a compelling story. You have placed what we call an irresistible offer, right? You've you've put something which solves something which is keeping them what up at night, which gives them no other choice but to take you up on your offer. In the last, in fact, in the very first module, I went through your ideal customer. Who is the person you really want to sell to? Who is the person you are speaking to? Who is this all for? So now, one of the things which I need you guys to learn is I need you to always open your eyes, see what everyone else out there is doing, right? Look at what's speaking to you. When they market to you, what speaks to you, and copy some of the key points. I'm not saying, okay, just go and uproot the whole sales page from someone else and put it on your page. No, what I'm saying is model what's working, change it around, and make it work with what you already have. So now we're going to be talking about sales pages. Why should people buy from you? And what are the basic components of a sales page, right? For some of you, we have already sat down and I went through your different sales pages, but tonight I'm not going to go through this whole sales page, as you can see. If you don't already have access to a page like this, let me know. I'm going to make sure that you get it, right? So basically, a sales page is something which speaks to people, right? Traditionally, this was the only option which you had, putting together a sales letter like the one which you have over here. But in actual fact, now there's a better way of doing things which is 10 times easier, which takes 10 times less work, but you still need to hit each and every point, right? The first point, which will be, you need to have a pre-headline, right? A pre-headline is something like, attention network marketers, attention mothers, right? You call out to that person so that they pay attention. They pay attention to what? To the headline. The headline always has to be the biggest benefit of whatever you are trying to promote, whatever you are trying to sell, right? So you call out to them, then the biggest headline, then here you are just going to what? To move people into what? The sales pitch. The person who did this sales page is one of my mentors and coach. His name is Dagan Smith. He owns the Maximum Leverage. He has used this page to make well over 2.5 million to date. What I'm going to go through really works. Really works. So now, in opening your presentation, you can start with something like, dear friend, right? And you need to move on to asking a few burning questions. Questions which you know the answer to already. Questions which you know your demographic, your target market is already at being kept up at night because of those questions. In the first module, I asked you to write 4 problems, right? 4 problems. I want you to take those problems and present them here as questions. Right? Let me show you an example. Let's just go to this one. If you look here, guys, I've got about 300 to 400 sales pages bookmarked. I've got each and every course on sales pages out there you can think of. I've got all of them, and I model at least 100 of them. Most of these sales pages, I've written them out by hand, word for word. I can go through any sales page without even, stuttering, because I've gone through so many. Like when you look at this one, this gentleman, his name is Greg Gomez. He's currently making over $1 million online. Okay, he changed things around a little bit, so you find that the sequence is exactly the same. So pre-headline, right? Attention network marketers discover how to add more associates every week than your upline does all month. That's your pre-headline. So he's got my attention, I as a network marketer. Then he moves where? To the biggest benefit of his course. What does he say here? Who else wants a step-by-step blueprint? Okay, he's selling me or not a step-by-step blueprint, which, let's continue, to add up to 5, 10, 20, even 30 new hungry associates each and every week, right? That's the biggest benefit of this course, right? So the next step, what is this part? This part is supposed to be what? The sub headline, right? The sub headline, it's a minor what? Benefit, but still which is big enough to what? To keep a person what? Engaged. So now, like I said, I'm not going to go through each and every sales page. I'm just going to hit the major points and the things which you need to focus on. So the next place, he's got my attention. Then he goes what? To connect with me. Dear fellow frustrated network marketer. That's me. I know the biggest benefit. That's me. Then he goes to ask me a question, right? But before he asks me the questions, he's preparing me for what? Those hard-hitting questions. He goes to say, let me ask you a question. For your own benefit, answer truthfully. Right? I have to answer these burning questions truthfully. Right? If we go back to our part, you see it is the exact same format, word for word. But now I'm just going to what? To stop here when it comes what? To the traditional way of doing things. Then you see the next step is the conversation story. What I want from you guys, I want you to tell stories. Tell stories. Let me give you an example. Oh my God. Let me tell you how I stumbled into the network marketing industry. You see, just like everyone else, maybe you are like me, I was too cool for this industry. Every time when someone called me to their house to show me this, I just buckled up. I did not want anything to do with it. Was it because I just didn't like the concept, or was it because I just didn't know what it was all about? The funny thing is, I saw one of my friends, Paul, that's his name. Paul was very successful. He owned 7 businesses. At that time, I owned nothing. I saw Paul was doing this, and he was actually making money. I stopped to think, is it because my ego is too big that I don't see the opportunity for what it is? Or I just don't get it? What was it? I had to come closer and really take a good look. Now, what I'm doing there, I'm connecting with the person. I'm also solving an objection which they might have. What's the objection? No, this is not for me. So what I want you to do, I want you to tell stories in your whole presentation, in your whole sales page, but what I want you to do, I want you to raise some concerns, right? And I want you to address them in your presentation. And when you address them, you are eliminating the objections. I want you to do case studies with each and every story which you tell. We all know that stories sell, facts tell, stories sell. So if you are telling stories, it's easier to make the sell. And the biggest thing which I have seen is, do not tell your own story. Always tell someone else. If you tell someone else's story, people will believe you much more than if you tell your own stories. So the easiest way to do this, let me just pull up PowerPoint so that I can start drawing so that you can see as we go on, so that you guys see what I'm talking about. In the meantime, while I pull up PowerPoint, are you guys following along? Do you have any questions with what I've just mentioned so far? I know I speak very fast, so it is very important that you guys understand me properly. Any questions, guys? Don't be shy. This is the best time to ask me. I'll go through anything and everything with you guys, because I'm here for you. So guys, this is what we are going to be doing. For you to create your own sales page, right, which converts, I want you to do what we call storyboard, right? The way you do storyboard, you just, okay, this is supposed to be a straight line, right? Let's try to see if I can just delete that. I'm going to try this again. And there we go. This is the whole story. Okay, this is the story which you are going to tell, this line. Okay, this is the starting point, and this is the finishing point. What I want you to do, I want you to break it down into sections. Let's say your whole presentation is 30 minutes long. I need you to break it down into, let's say, 5-minute segments, right? So if it's 30 minutes long, you're supposed to have like 6 segments or something like that. Then you might have the last one a bit longer than all the other ones. So the way everything should be layered, these are different chapters, right? These are different episodes of the story, right? You are going to tell a story, and each and every time you are going to introduce a new character. What do I mean by a new character? You need someone who's going to sell your story eventually, because the goal which we want what? The sell. That's what we are looking for, right? The sell. We are not looking to make friends, we are looking to make money, right? So you need to have, like, okay, let's say here a housewife, right? Just said housewife, HW. This is the first person you are going to give as an example. You want a situation where a person can connect with everybody. Oh, if this lady can do it, so can I. Then maybe you will go here and go to a tech challenge person, right? Someone who's not technically advanced, and you are going to address how they manage to use your system to gain success. And then you go like, okay, an old person, someone maybe 60 years and above, right? That's another attractive character. Then maybe you go like, okay, someone in college, 18-year-old, right? So then you see, these are all different characters. You are going to go through how do they manage to use your system. You are going to give examples. You are going to tell this person's story, this person's story, this person's story, this person's story. So what is this doing? Those are going to work as 2 things. One, you are eliminating the objections one by one, right? You know the objections. If one of the most popular objections is money, right? You say, when I started teaching, let's say, Paul, this technology, he looked at me and said, oh my God, teach. How did you manage to keep the price so low? I know so many people who do the same service, they charge hundreds of thousands. Now what did I do? I've put in your head that what I'm going to offer you is way cheaper than anyone else. So let's say if everyone else is charging hundreds of thousands, right? And I turn around and say, okay, now I'm going to let you have this thing for, let's say, 1,000. You go, oh my God, that is so cheap. As opposed, why is it so expensive? So that's, if you guys can see this, we are structuring what? The sales letter, right? The key is you are going to have different bullet points as you go in. We are going to raise that the biggest advantage here, and the biggest concern. We deal with the biggest concern, the biggest advantage, the biggest concern, the biggest advantage, the biggest concern. The trick is whenever you ask a question, you answer it. A question like, I would say, do you really want to make a living online? The answer is, of course you do. Why would you be here right now? It's not that you are coming just to see my face or to listen to my beautiful accent. I know I've got a beautiful accent, but let's face it. The truth is, you want to make a living, right? You see how I put it? I created what? I asked the question and I answered the question. So now, okay, now I've got you focused on what? On making money. That's why you're here. Then I'm going to say, when Paul went and showed his grandfather doesn't even have a Facebook account. That's how tech savvy he is, and you can imagine he managed to implement this in less than a day. Right now as you speak, he managed to purchase a house using the revenue which came just from this. You can imagine. I know right now, just because you managed to sign up to this training call tells me you're more advanced than him, and I've got no doubt in my mind this will be a walk in the park for you. What have I done? I've eliminated that objection that what? Okay, this thing might be too complicated, it might not be for me. Are you guys following along? So now what happens is, you see, I said these are different episodes, these are different segments, right? Okay, so what happens now? This is a segment. In each segment, you need to do a few things. You need to tell the biggest secret, right? The biggest secret about this piece, little here, right? This little piece. The biggest secret could be this one thing, just this one thing will triple what? The amount of money which you make, and save you, let's say, hours and hours of what? Efforts, right? So how does it all work? You just show them an overview. In the whole sales page, you do not solve any problems. You're highlighting the problems and you hint to the solution. So you've first thing you pointed out the biggest secret, right? The biggest secret here. So the next thing is what? You raise what? The concern, right? Oh, this might take forever for me to what? To understand. So you highlight what? The biggest concern. Okay, the biggest concern. Then after you highlight the biggest concern, you are going to what? To address it. You address that concern, right? After you address that concern, you are going to present the next hook. Your whole sales page has to be a series of hooks. There's a hook here, right? This is the biggest. There's a secret here, and you are going to hint on the next hook. And okay, the way it works, you are going to give them, like from the capture page, you're going to promise them something for coming to the sales page, and when they're on the sales page, you deliver it, and you keep on promising them different things, going until the sale is made. I hope you guys are following along. I know my screen is a bit messy right now. Let me just clear and draw another line. Let's see how well I do this line now. Are you guys following along along nicely? Yes, no, maybe? Tell me. Guys, don't be shy. Teach the Great is here for you guys. And how is the sound quality? Can you hear me guys nicely? Let me just check and see. Is that a question? Clear? Yes, 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 good. So basically guys, what we are doing, we are telling a story, right? We are telling a story. That's what we need to do. Tell stories. And you see that anytime when you tell stories the way I'm putting them right now, people will always buy. People will always buy. If you try to be serious and be too focused on your product, you'll struggle to sell anything. So now we've created our timeline, right? You've broken it down. You've created your storyboard. Storyboard only means that chapters, episodes. Like for instance, when I was about, it was about 2 hours ago, I was talking to one of my favorite students, right? And I was teaching about presenting a webinar, right? And I got this idea of how I learned to present a webinar, and I had a string of hooks, right? This minute, I'll say in 5 minutes, I'm going to solve this problem. And when I solve that problem, I present another one, solve it, and keep on hooking you, until I get what? To the sales part where you have to buy, right? It's a series of hooks. So, and one of the things which you should always be doing every time when you're presenting the problem, going through the concerns, addressing the concern, and presenting the solution and moving on to the next hook, you should always be painting a picture. Get them imagining. Like right now, I can easily say, guys, can you imagine how your life will be if you are making 5,000 a day? You don't have to get out of bed. You can afford to charter a plane to anywhere you want. You've got your kids in the background, and if you say, guys, we are going to Paris for lunch, you can do that. Or if you got this girl which you like, and it's like you just say, girl, I'm taking you out for lunch, and you fly her on a private plane to a private island. How imagine. This is the power of what I'm showing you right now. And I've got the solution. This is the solution right now, right? So now you've got them what? Imagining. And you've got the case studies, right? What is the next thing to do? The next thing is what? Let me just draw this. This is the side, what? Where you are what? You're painting your picture, right? Everything's so rosy on this side. Then guess what? You say, but if you don't see the value in what I have, this is reality. Your life, you can continue on the path which you're at. You're miserable. You're spinning your wheels. You don't know where your next meal is going to come from. You are living paycheck to paycheck. You fight each and every day with your wife, with your husband, because of finances. Because we all know finances, money is the biggest reason for divorces. This could be your life, or you can come this side with us cool people where you have a life of plenty. You can afford anything, and we know the more money you have, the happier it is. I know people say what money cannot buy you happiness, but I can tell you one thing for sure: money can buy the things which will make you happy. If you're anything like me, I'd rather be miserable with money than be miserable without money, because there's no happiness without money. So guys, can you see how I am painting the picture? Now I've given you these two places. Which place do you want to live in? The side of plenty, or the side where you currently are, where there's nothing? You need to paint a picture to the point that this person cannot, there's just no way in hell they can continue living without purchasing this product which you have. You get it? Without purchasing this product which you have. And now you have painted that picture. What is the only thing, the only logical thing to do, or what is the only thing left to do, is to what? Say, this is the next step, right? This is the next step. You need to get this cool thing over here, right? This thing is going to be what? The thing to what? To solve all your problems. All of these problems, this is the cool thing. And on top of this cool thing, I'm also going to give you this cool thing, right? And on top of this cool thing, I'm going to give you these two cool things, right? And you're going to have these two cool things right here. Plus, I'm also going to give you another cool thing. So, guess what? It's time for you to what? To get all these cool things right now. And your sales page and your sales video is done. Does that make sense to you guys? Any questions? Can you see how easy it is? The problem is most people want to overcomplicate things. The whole thing, like, just map out. Oh, sorry guys. I wish, guys, for my birthday next week, I need a bamboo. A bamboo, it's a thing which will allow me to what? To draw faster. And right now I'm using what? I go to Webinar and I'm using my finger to draw. So guys, let's say four to six different stories. Break them down, right? Break them down, break them down, break them down, and tell the stories here. The stories. You address what? The secret, which is the hook, right? You address the concern. You teach something cool. Resolve. Paint a picture, which is how their life will be if they get that cool thing, right? And you basically just build your timeline like that. And when you reach here, right, you say, as you can see, it has taken me a lot of work, sweat, tears, trials and errors to get to this spot here. So what I'm going to do, instead of you going through what I went, spending years and years spinning your wheels, allow me to what? To just fast forward you to this place where you are going to get your promised land. This is what you are going to get. This is what you are going to do. This is how your life is going to be, how yours is right now if you don't get this cool thing. On top of this cool thing already, which is amazing, which has done wonders for me, I'm going to give you this cool thing and I'm going to give you this cool thing. But you need to act now. This might not be available tomorrow. This might not be available in the next hour. I have to limit this to a certain number. Obviously, you understand, I do not want too many people knowing about this because it's going to saturate the market, do this, or because it has created me so much money and I just do not want to lose that. You see, you are creating scarcity. Are you guys following along? You are creating scarcity, which forces people to what? To act. You do not want to say, guys, just buy my thing, it's so cool, so cool. You need to put what? A time limit, right? Close the sale. And make sure you what? You show them where their life is, and you show them by painting that picture where they can be. And I know, like, there's this, I forgot what is his name, he's a public speaker. He likes to say something like, you see, the problem with being a public speaker is because you need to get used to flying first class, you need to get used to the fine restaurants, fine dining, eating filet mignon, top of the range life, you know, you driving the most expensive cars, you know. He's selling you on that lifestyle, right? On that lifestyle. You are going to buy because of the benefits which you see. Like some people right now, they struggle to spend, let's say, $100 on something. Why? They don't see the benefits. If you say, I'll sell you a house for $100, a person will jump and pay for it straight away. Why? They see what the value. So you need to deliver the value in your sales presentation. And people buy because of perceived value. Let me show you something. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to delete those. Guys, are you following along? Any questions? Let me show you something. You see this page here, guys? This page addresses each and everything which you can think of, right? So now, if you see it already what presented, right? If we look here, right? Let me show you. Okay, can you see all the different bullet points? All these different bullet points here, right? Let me go on. Can you see all the different bullet points that you see? When a person is looking at this, they are seeing so many things which they are going to get. And most people perceive a bullet point as the things they are going to get. Yes, they are the things you are going to get, right? But these are just like, this bullet point just says much, much more, right? This is what a person is going to see without even reading. They are going to say, oh my God, I'm going to get all that. That's a lot. For only $1,000, I'll pay that any day. People buy because of perceived value. Make sure everything which you are putting together, you are going to what? Show the value, the perceived value, right? Constantly focus on the perceived value. That's the thing which is going to what? To sell your product. And on top of perceived value, also make sure you are going to put scarcity. You are answering all their concerns, and when all their concerns are addressed, you've got a sale made already. You are done. Do all of you guys understand? Any questions? Guys, ask me any questions about this sales pages, because I need each and every one of you by Sunday to have finished all your sales pages. If you have any questions, come and sit down with me and I'll go through anything and everything with you. Any questions, guys? Where do you get multiple stories from? That's a very good question. Who was that? Nicole? What you do is you find people who are in the same industry you want to target. Let's say, guaranteed, I can tell you, you know some people who are doing very well, let's say in the network marketing industry, right? Like for instance, with me when I was starting, I was using Dagen as my story, right? Like for instance, Dagen spends over what? 50,000 to 100,000 each and every month on solo ads. Let's say I wanted to sell you on solo ads. I'll say something like, okay guys, if you look at this guy, Dagen Smith, he's a well-known guru. He's spending over 50 to 100,000 each and every month on solo ads. Why is that? It's because it works. This is what people don't want you to know. They want to force you to do pay per click. They want you to do this other method. They want you to do to talk to friends and family. All those don't work. Look at him right now. He's building a list of over 1,000 people a day. Imagine your life, how your life would be if you could have 1,000 people added to your list each and every day. You see, I'm starting to paint a picture, right? Did I say I'm adding 1,000 people a day? No. I took someone who's doing it and I used it as what? As a way of painting a picture. As opposed to me saying, okay, oh, I add over 200 people each and every day and I send solo ads, and it's all working well for me. It's more attractive when you use a third party, when you're using someone else other than you. Do you get it? So whatever product you want to create, you look at the solutions and you look at who's currently selling those solutions, right? You look at them, how are they doing it, right? Like with me personally, I love to buy products, right? I'm constantly buying different products. I go through it, I learn something cool, and I teach some people the cool things. And I take that person. Obviously, when a person is selling you a product, they're going to tell you their own story, right? So I take their story and I tell it in my sales page, right? That's how you do it. Does that make sense to you? And you see how I painted the picture of how this gentleman is spending 50 to 100,000, and imagine how your life would be, how your business would be if you had 1,000 people added to your list every day, 1,000 people seeing your company presentation. You wouldn't care how many people like it or don't like it, because you are signing people up left, right, and center. Does that make sense, guys? But that was a good question. I like that. So just look around whatever industry you want to your product solves. Look at who's currently selling to those people, who's doing what you are trying to teach these people. Use those case studies. I hope that makes sense. And guys, always be telling stories. The next module we're going to go through story selling. Story selling, you're going to just tell stories. In fact, I went through this with you today, so I'm not going to really touch that much on it again. So do you guys understand? Any questions? So since there are no questions at all, tomorrow I'm going to be selecting a few of you and sitting down with you, going over some of these things, and also I'll be looking at your sales pages, because we are going to move into the product creation now. But before I touch on the product creation, tomorrow we're going to go into capture pages, because the capture pages has to sell people on entering their details before they even see your sales page. From the capture pages, we're going to go through the components which you need to put everything together. Then we are going to build the product. Then by Monday, your product has to be on the marketplace. We are going to start driving traffic to that product, and I'm going to go through how to drive traffic, the different ways of marketing your product, and the different ways of testing to see the marketplace, how it's receiving your product, what you can do to improve on that. Guys, thank you very much. If there are no more questions, I'm just going to end it here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, and some of you, I'll contact you tomorrow and go through the sales pages. Any questions before I go? I like you guys. No questions. This is brilliant. So I want to see you guys building these sales pages. Go on another way of doing it, guys. You can go on Facebook, you can go on Google, see how other people are doing it, right? Let me just go to Facebook quickly. Let's just see how other people are doing it. Unfortunately, everything's so slow. I go to hundreds of pages. I'm constantly checking what everyone is doing. There's very little, there's almost nothing which you can put in front of me which I have seen already. I look at different sales pages, how are they doing? That's how I need you guys to look at everything, right? Okay, if you scroll down here, right, you'll see all the different all these people. These are ads. Sometimes just click on them, see where it's taking you, see the sales page, how is the sales page talking to you, things like that. Okay, that's what I want you guys to do. Compare different sales pages, print them out, take the parts which speak to you, right? And tomorrow I'm going to show you how to repackage everything and also create that the offer, how to move everyone through everything. Guys, thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.